Welcome to the Love Government. I'm Dennis Leary, speaking on behalf of the Love Government. We're doing a series of love cards, or sex cards, and we are now on the 10th card. 10th card in a series of 52. We're taking a journey through a structure. We're going home to the heart of love, and in the process, we become true lovers. This is the 10th card, and we've gone through the suit of number. This is the suit of time. It's the third card up in the suit of time, 8, 9, 10, and we're going in a chronological sequence according to our development. We start out with woman, then we go to a baby, and now we're growing up to a child. This card is called the Lover, 10, child. So the lover plays all the roles. Her whole body is all of reality in the love government point of view. So she is a child playing. The scene here is in the tarot system, or the love system, is of two children playing with 6 cups. The card is called the 6 of Cups, and the cups are filled with flowers. There's a house in the background and a man walking towards the house. This is a happy scene. If all goes well in our development, if we were in a love culture, then we would be magic children, and our mode of living would be play. Children love to play in nature. And the children that were raised in a love culture, say when we were young, in our originating state, they would have been in nature playing all day long. And they would have been much sharper than we as far as recognizing things in nature, the animals, the plants, and the herbs, and the trees, and the seasons, and stuff. It was all like nature-based. And it was in a loving community where the love and the sex was open. It was communal. It wasn't privatized and filled with guilt and shame as ours is. And so the children would have been part of that. They would have witnessed the sex play of the adults, as they still do in some cultures. And if they are properly educated, that's no problem. Children are going to do what they're going to do at their particular stage of development if they're left alone. And if they see the adults making sex, oh, that's just what they do. Not interested in it as such. They're interested in, out there with the little animals or the plants and the sticks and the games that they play. And if they're left alone to develop, they have a very nice sequence of development, and this is magic. Everything is magic to them. They believe in magic, and who's to say that they're not right about the world? That the world is not truly magical. In a patriarchal system, magic is put down. It's, oh, that's a previous state of development that our ancestors had to go through. Now we're into, what we're into now. But no, maybe the world is magical. And if we get into a love mode, we begin to see the magic happening. It can happen to us. Things that don't have a rational explanation, they just somehow happen magically. So, in the love culture, it was beautiful, beautiful. The other side of this card, and these cards all have 2 sides, so the other side of it is the tragic side. So what's the tragic side? It would be the deficit of this. So the tragic side starts to happen with a mother, first of all, that's all stressed out when she has the baby in her belly. Maybe she's having to work so hard and a stressful life, and she's not supported by the culture, has to make the money, etc., etc. So then that's going to affect the baby in the womb. Then she may have a difficult birth. that adds to the stress and the danger and the fear. It all kinds of builds up, and it takes its toll on the baby. And then the baby is born under a sort of a curse, because then maybe it's not even nursed properly in a relaxed setting. The mother has to work, and it's bottle fed, which is unnatural. And who knows what's in the baby formulas now? It could be a bunch of chemicals or cow's milk. Or, it's not natural. And so then the baby becomes a child. And then the child is introduced to some really questionable systems, like the school system. The child is forced by law to go to school. I can remember going to kindergarten, and I fought it tooth and nail. I have very few childhood memories of that age, but I can remember fighting tooth and nail against going to a school. But of course, they broke my spirit. I had to go to the school. So what do you learn in a school? Of course, you learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, but the main lesson plan is obedience to the system. You have to obey your teachers and all the powers that stand behind them, all the laws and the politicians and police, the military. And then if your parents are authoritarian, you have to obey the parents. So you learn to not trust yourself, and really not to trust the authorities, because they are often contradictory, and they're often punishing you. They beat you, or they punish you, or take away things, and their love is arbitrary. You don't know if it's not dependable. They could be angry in 1 minute and then nice and kiss you the next, and send you to bed without supper once, and then the next time hunky-dory. So it's a very, very confusing thing. And so it ends up in this picture: tragic child. And so here you have a picture of a young man sitting before a civilized city with 4 coins, 1 on his head, 2 at his feet. So he's dressed in furs and a crown. So presumably he's a rich man's son or a rich woman's son. He has all the wealth, but it's tragic because he's lacking the one thing that really counts, the one thing being a loving, nurturing environment, so that he can grow up and be himself. So that all comes with our particular culture. So we are pointing out through these videos that that's not the way it was set up. That's not the way we're set up. Nature didn't work that way. It doesn't work well that way. I mean, it works. You can force anything to work, and you can tolerate yourself to anything if the poison that's given to you is given to you in small doses. You develop a tolerance to it, and then you think it's normal. So in our culture, we're given these poisons over and over and over, these lies, these bad practices, these stresses and the strains, and after a while we build up a tolerance to it, and then we think it's normal. And it's not. It's not normal. But how are you going to know unless somebody comes along and says, there's a different way to do things? And that's what we're doing here. There's a different way to do things. But then how are you going to integrate love into an anti-love culture? It can be dangerous, because the anti-love means exactly that. They hate love, true love. They put up all kinds of false flags of love, but true love they hate, which is truthful. So it's a dangerous situation in our culture to go public with indiscretion. You can't take your clothes out in public, or you'll get fined or go to prison or something, or be declared crazy. And you can't say certain things in public to over-authoritarian people, because they freak out, and if they have power, they will punish you. So you have to tread lightly. You have to walk a fine line, and we're attempting to do that in the love culture. But I'm not too worried, because I'm 73 years old. I don't have much to lose. I don't have much money that they can take away. If they take my life, well, hopefully it will be gently done. But I want to tell the truth about our culture. Speak truth to power. And tell the powerful people that what you're doing is simply wrong. It's hurting a lot of people. And of course they don't understand it, because the elites are so embedded with the lies that they believe their own lies, so they're not going to believe you, and if they're threatened, they will punish you. But it's okay, because we're protected by love. We've got this aura of love around us. That's this aura here. We showed it in one of the previous cards. See, this is like the prayerful sign. This is the aura, but this is the shape of the aura around your body, if you're in love. If you're not, it may be broken up, split up into all kinds of stuff, but that aura is relative to the sex center of a woman. Her vulva is shaped like this. It's called the almond. The old cultures spoke of the almond shape. That refers to the vulva. That's where life comes from. So let's turn it to the positive. That's the thing, you know. We see both sides, and then we can make a choice. We can make a clear choice. So I am a recovering patriarch myself. So I was raised as like my childhood wasn't. We had a lot of good things, as many of our childhoods do. I played in nature, and I had friends and a bicycle and parents that were relatively sane. My parents died in their mid-50s from cancer. My mother was an alcoholic and a smoker, so they died because there was something wrong with the stresses of the culture that brought them to an early, miserable death. But how do you know for sure? How do you know? Well, we know what we know, and we tell what we tell. So this is a show and tell program here. These are cards. We're attempting to tell a different story, provide an alternative to the governments that we have today, which are basically evil in their motivation and their intention. But it's all glossed over. So we're going to tell the truth about that. And try to also not be too serious about it, because this is a child card, and it reminds us that life is a game. Life is pleasure. We love to play. Children love to play. And so these cards are reminders. So when I see this card, I'm reminded, lighten up, be a child, play. And that's where the magic comes in. And we can do it. We can do it. That's the good news. We just have to turn the cards around. This is a dynamo system. And the information, the energy is present with us. The children, the true children of lovers, are present right now in this energy field. They may not be present physically, but they can exert their influence. And they sing, play, lighten up, it's magic, it's a magic world. You'll have plenty of time to turn it into serious business. Now is the time to play. And we have that inner child within us. So thank you for being with us. And we're attempting to tell the true story, get on the right track, bring the information forward in a way that is useful and that can improve our lives. So we'll sign off with a love sign. This is the L like it. Love. This L is for love. So may love be in your life, in every cell of your body, in your aura, in your circumstances, in your relationships. Because, believe it or not, love makes the world go round, and love is all there is.